Hey everyone, this is episode 88 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is a person I just like to talk down and really just to see if they call a penalty on that one, because of all in my entire lifetime of watching soccer, I've seen that so many times not getting called, and apparently that's possible now. OSG, how's it going, sir?
What's up, bro? I like passing out bear hugs. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? It's kind of a weird weekend, man. With no Dose game getting postponed. Dasher off on international duty this weekend. At least I had a Man City game yesterday morning. Ended up winning it 4-2. Not a lot else going on. College basketball. I'm here in. I got to stay in town this weekend. Didn't have to travel out of town this weekend, so I kind of chose the better. Just kind of chill and sit back since I got so many travel trips coming up. So I was like, I'm just going to relax and sit back and enjoy the weekend, I guess, doing nothing and take advantage of the double buys and the road away trip. But man, what's going on with you this weekend?
You mentioned college soccer, and I'm not like a big college basketball fan or basketball altogether. And I can tell you though, like the value of watching women's college basketball is just insane. The entertainment value, you don't really know what's gonna happen, and just watching it live is just insane. And I was shocked to you'll see like on the news, like after the couple broadcasts that they have for Iowa, that millions of people, like literally 12 to 16 million people, were watching like those back-to-back broadcasts for like their last two games before the national championship. It's insane. So
It's Caitlin, it's all
and
Caitlin Clark, dude. All Caitlin
literally,
Clark. I mean, Ice Cube offers her $5 million to play a season at the Big Three next season. Like, come on, $5 million. She's gonna make. She won't even make anywhere close to that in the WNBA. So you can play with
probably,
men.
yeah.
Come play with older retired men. But yeah, I don't know. She'll have to. She'll probably go to WNBA. But Caitlin Clark, that's the only one that I really kind of watch. I just kind of check the scores out for the other ones, but I didn't watch none of the games. I just kind of glanced at that game and just saw it. So that's why I said if you're college basketball. Otherwise, nothing going on. I haven't paid attention to no UFL with the friggin' rock Stowe or whatever the hell that's going on over there. So, yeah, man, I'm just sticking to my soccer and that's it.
Yeah, Rockets did get knocked out of playoff contention, so there's that. And also, soccer-wise, man, Real Madrid City is coming up, and it's gonna be insane. So I'm
Mm,
watching
mm,
you.
mm, mm. Yeah, that's gonna be fun, bro. That's gonna be fun. Can't
No,
wait.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Um, and yeah, guys, let's get into this one. It should be kind of short and sweet because, like Alicia just said, we do have a couple teams on bye. Dash are on international break because of NDSL just taking the time off, and we're gonna also talk about some of the players that are on international duty. Nine of them, insane. And Dynamo 2, they're actually supposed to play this week. We're recording on Sunday afternoon, well, noonish, and yeah, their game got moved out to a future date because of Minnesota United 2 having to play their Open Cup game, since Minnesota United 2 were one of the MLS teams that are fielding their MLS Next Pro team instead of their first team. So there's that. We still don't know the date, and from the release from the Dynamo gave us is that it should be a couple of weeks until we find out the next date when it's
Yeah.
scheduled. So we'll keep an eye on that.
They just got to find a date that fits for Dose and fits for Minnesota because they don't have a buy date at the same time again. So it's going to be difficult because you're going to have to squeeze one in there during the week somewhere, and they just got to find out logistics before they confirm and sign on to that date. So they're not in a big hurry, but I'm pretty sure you'll hear something soon announced, or they'll just wait till a couple weeks before and be like, "Hey, by the way, we got a game." But
Yep.
it'll be a weekday game for sure. I don't know how they're going to do it. It'll be something back to back, but I'm pretty sure they're going to wait for. I don't. Did Minnesota win their Open Cup game though? I didn't think to
No,
check.
they lost to the NISA team, Michigan Stars. So they're actually
Ooh.
out of the cup.
Okay, so they might wait just to see what Dynamo do in the Open Cup because you never know what who the Dynamo are going to play in the Open Cup. They say they're going to play the first team, but expect second. So, yeah, like Foxtrot said, they'll just let us know whenever they let us know, and so be it. Otherwise, just enjoy the games until then.
Yeah. Next game for Dynamo 2 is gonna be against Sporting KC2 on the road
Yeah.
as well. So it's gonna be we'll see. And I hope I get to catch it live because usually kickoffs like these are very annoying to catch. They don't save the replays for some reason. So
Sunday
great.
at Sunday at 5. Mark your calendars, y'all. Sunday at
Yeah, yeah.
5 is Dynados.
Only way to watch is live, guys. So keep your heads up.
You
And
just hope that it was a YouTube scheduled game, so that one will be up there. But you never know. Just hope.
yeah, literally the way this share information is annoying, but
Yeah,
it is what it is. And
yeah.
we'll a little bit towards the episode we'll talk about Dashmore because they made a big signing, and we'll save everything for that. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Dynamo, they played Chicago Fire on the road at Soldier Field. They lost 2-1, and I'm not as disappointed honestly. And well, I am disappointed, but not like angry disappointed because I could have. They were pretty close to getting that result, and I saw them. I saw that as a possibility after watching that game, and it's just that a couple calls didn't go their way, and obviously the Dynamo have like a lot of things going against them, especially just being short on offensive players. But other than that, there's a lot of positives to take away from this one.
Well,
But yeah,
before
the winning streak is snapped.
yeah, and before you get into any more thought, let's just go ahead and give a shout out to Nick from Glass House Soccer. He
Yep.
predicted 2-1 victory and got it right, and so. And it we y'all that listened to the instant ramen episode, we kind of were right what was going on here, but Chicago played the better ball and executed the better ball in the game. So shout out to you, Nick. You got it right. Congrats on your win. Like I said, during the 90 minutes, we're not friends. Now we can be friends again. Whatever. You got your dub. You get your 3 points, man. Shoot. But yeah. But shout out to you. But as you were, Fox, just had to remind everybody that Nick was right. That's our dues we pay.
Yep. And that's the best part of instant ramen. You just get to know about the team,
Yeah.
and also creators like us that like to share their thoughts about the team, and obviously us as people that aren't close with their team, getting to learn more about them is great. So I keep an eye on the next one because it's always a great time.
Yep. I already got one in the works, so y'all stay tuned.
No, yeah, let's get into a lineup for this game because two big players are missing for the starting lineup for Dynamo. Those being Mikael and Sebastian Ferreira. Both of them were listed as questionable heading into this game, and they were left out of the 18 for this game. And I felt like it was a precautionary measure, so I feel like that's good, especially for Sebastian Ferreira. We have to keep him safe because we've noticed lately that he's kind of prone to injury. So hopefully he's recovered. He recovers very quickly, and as well for Mikael because Mikael, I feel like his without him it's gonna be tough to replace because he's one of our best players in the back for sure.
Well, you see with Bartlow, one of his plays last night was an acrobatic a Hadabi moment, and Mikel's been
Yep.
kind of doing it this year, and then Bartlow pulled one off last night. So it's fun. Like Bartlow is a good replacement for Mikel, and technically it was Shevchenko that was the Shevchenko, or however you want to say it, Eric. It technically played on the left side, so he was technically Mikel's replacement, and Bartlow had to replace Eric. So, but hey, I don't have a problem with Bartlow at all. I like Mikel. He's probably becoming one of our best center back. No shot to Eric, but Eric's a solid center back. But Mikel can do a little bit more in the total game than Eric can. So yeah, I think you're right though. You hit it on the nose with Mikel and Sebas. They're just being safe and precautious because just from what we saw during the week, it looked like they were going to be okay and be ready to go. And Coco was the one I was wondering about, and he got the full start and looked good and played well. So I'm okay with them saving it. It just sucks when you save a striker that, and it's also funny that we're calling we need Sebas. You have no
Yep.
other option, but it's like, where's the goal going to come from? Where's the goal going to come from? And that's always the biggest question when you don't have a striker. So I was like, that's my only worry. So Sebas of the questionable was the biggest miss to me in that lineup, man. And It's just crazy how he's missed already. we didn't even want him to come back. So at one point,
Yeah, and you mentioned Ethan Barlow, and he stepped up big time and in his moments for sure. And it's kind of unfortunate we didn't get the result here, but I feel like Barlow was definitely a piece tonight, and especially helped put a lot of goals away from the scoreboard.
yeah,
And just Vechenko also getting the start, which is nice. And you also mentioned Coco, al- despite being listed as questionable, getting to play, which is also good. The full 90 minutes. And heading to this one, we do have Abasi listed as a forward, and that usually for me means is like, oh man, here we go again. But like in this game, I feel like it was a different story, which we'll get into later when we get to the goals and all that. But yeah, I'll leave you starting on the wing, which is pretty good for me, and also Gregerson and Seba. Other Seba is they're both starting in the midfield. So well, Sebastian more as a forward, but we'll get into that.
yeah. So yeah, just a lineup that we were kind of expecting, and it's also one of those, man, that I kind of wish that if we're going to miss Sebastian, this is the performance that we're going to put out where we're just struggling to score and take real good shots. You're playing Bossy as a false nine and you're not getting any rips off at the goal, really, any good ones. You're just totally missing something and you're giving away part of the game that you need in there. So it's one of those, like, you kind of have to force a Liu to play in that striker role, and it would have been nice for Seba to be on that left side. You could have started Brad Smith if you wanted to. He's been in good form lately and a fan favorite recently. There's things you could have done, and then Aliyu just could have stretched the field at striker and maybe create an opportunity here or there. It's not like he's the worst striker in the world. Still, he just was lacking in performance. But when you don't have an option and that is your best option, really, come on, man, let's just do a little something different. So, just in case Sebas misses again, you're not going to start Siegel, which Siegel hasn't proved he can be very productive anyway. So, I'm sure it's frustrating for Ben, but that he believes that's his best lineup to go with, and at this point in time, and so we'll just see. Hopefully, Sebas is back, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. It doesn't get hurt for the rest of the season, and then that help will come in eventually. So it'll be Sebas and whoever can take turns, and we don't have to worry about that damn position no more. Oh, geez.
Oh yeah, and the window's closing pretty soon, so we need to get that signing on like across the line as like now, like
Yeah.
yesterday. But yeah, we're hungry for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and just to get into the game, right away the referee is not looking good. Well, in terms of getting certain calls in, and particularly,
Well.
per- particularly, and we'll definitely debate that. And obviously, the big one from the game, amongst the few that he did, was the penalty shout against the Dynamo in the first 10 minutes of the game, and it's pretty much just Escobar holding on to the defender that's trying to score, and the referee calls the penalty, and look, and obviously when it comes to like holding the player, depending on the gravity of the situation, you can get a foul call for that. But based on the replay that I've seen, I literally see the same play done every weekend, almost every game, of like a defender trying to defend the attacker like in a set piece or a corner kick, and I'm like, okay. And look, like if it's obvious, like if he pulls it down, it's a penalty, 100%. But he just like kind of holds him in, and I felt like that was harsh. But obviously, like it's pretty much just up to interpretation for the referee. But I wanna hear your thoughts on that, OSG.
Okay, so it's not going to be the friendly thought that everybody else has, but yes, in y'all's defense, and everybody's got this same defense right now, is that you see it happen across the world in every single game. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. To the extent that Escobar did it last night was not done across the world. I literally gave you a bear hug hello, a bear hug. But my imprint of my face is in your shoulder, in the back of your bone, going to your neck. Okay, and I'm giving you the biggest bear hug. My arms is on the other side of your body, and I've got my hands locked, and I don't let go for seconds upon seconds, and then the dude just falls, and it's even clear as friggin' day on the replay, so there's no way to talk yourself out of it. It was just so, and the referee warned you, and you still did it as bad and as aggressively as you did it, and the referee was looking straight at you. So yes, that's gonna get called, especially when you're told you're being bad. You're being bad. You better stop. No, no, let me do it harder. Come on, man. Yes, across the world it's done, but that was just dude. Escobar couldn't even see what was going on. He stuck his face so far in the dude's back. It was. It's like that. You can't see the ball, so what was he doing? And he grabbed it and like, come on. So I had not one complaint with the penalty. Not one complaint. That's Escobar's stupid attitude being a liability, and it cost us early in the game when it 1-1 could have been the final score. Could have, game would have played out differently, obviously, if this penalty wasn't there. But he makes the penalty, or Shaqiri makes the penalty, and they're up 1-0 9 minutes into the freaking game. It's just stupid on Escobar, especially when referees watch him, and then you get one. So I'm fine with the referee making the call. I think this was totally Escobar's fault. He did not need to be that aggressive and that necessary. Yeah, the dude's bigger than you, but bro, you can limit a big dude from getting some momentum or getting that head on the ball exactly. Whatever. You could have defended him smarter. Stupid. Just stupid to me. Sorry, that's my opinion. And there you go.
Yeah, and just after putting a lot of thought into that, I can definitely see that just being the issue because even if Escobar um had to pretty much just put the ball away from play, he still put himself in that situation and really caused that issue, especially after getting warned not to do it. So I can definitely see that. So it's definitely valid. And and yeah, but like after putting us in that situation, well, we're down early and we're pretty much behind the ball. I want to say like for the entire first half or a good chunk of it. But the
Yeah.
one thing I was impressed by is that the Dynamo, like offensively, they weren't as bad as I thought they were gonna be because, like we know already, they're pretty much short-handed when it comes to offensive pieces. They're trying to build that forward. That they really cannot get through in the middle, so they have to like go through the sides. And and yeah, they actually find a couple opportunities here and there, and the one that I was particularly impressed with is Basi. I thought he had like a pretty good game just playing out of his own position. He was able to like be because he was open in so many opportunities, particularly ones where Coco like he got the final pass from, and he got a few pretty nice passes from Coco actually, and obviously just Coco trying to build up everything else, and yes, it's kind of disappointing that Basi just either put the ball next to the keeper or like right in front of him to save it, or he hit the post, and it kind of sucked. But I thought that Basi did pretty okay.
Man, yeah, he did do okay in that one obvious moment that Coco gave him the ball and he was standing there all by himself and he just kind of right to the keeper, a little bitty swing, but too bad he didn't have time to take a good opportunity out of that. So he did okay, but he just wasn't a productive striker that you needed. Coco putting the balls over the top. You got other players trying to put balls over the top to Dorsey and to Brad Smith and into Aliu. So they were making their little opportunities, but yeah, Bossy had an okay game. I can't complain about Bossy too much. He's like you said, he's out of position and just trying to compete in a position that we're having trouble in right now.
And also because of our current offensive struggles, we do have Dorsey and Escobar pretty much just working overtime. Going forward to assisting them with the plays that are getting created over there, and pretty much just going back to try and defend or or try to like rotate with the defenders covering their places behind. And I feel like they did a pretty decent job. But the one thing that I found really, I wouldn't say like disturbing, is just the amount of time Chicago was able to get through, particularly with either the turnovers, because one of the passes was just wrong, or they were able to find a space. And and yeah, that was one big issue with the first half, and I really get into the second half later. But yeah, I feel like there were a lot of opportunities missed for Dynamo, and Chicago could have put this game like away easily in the first half.
Chicago plays the same formation as us. They just don't play the same style as us. Obviously, Ben has this unique style to his 4-2-3-1 or whatever. Chicago plays that 4-2-3-1 this time. And credit to Chicago for getting the ball out wide quick and early. And that was the advantage because, that's the space that we allow and we give up playing the way we play. So you're not going to come down the middle of the field on us. You're going to put yourself into bad passing lanes, into pressure. And so Chicago was able to get that ball out wide quick and early, and that was able to them to advance. And, that got them into that 41% possession for the entire game. And especially, I'm sure that was a little bit higher in the first half because, Dynamo were still struggling to get into the game and find their rhythm. But yeah, again, credit to the Chicago for game planning correctly and getting that ball out wide and just causing a little difficulty for us. And that little bit of difficulty in the long run paid off for Chicago, especially when they were able to get that second goal the way they did. So we kind of knew it was coming, and we give those away on those sides. So it's just more Escobar was just pushing up too much, I thought, and he doesn't get back whenever he pushes up. He just kind of slowly jogs back, and then when he finally gets back there, he defends. He doesn't hustle back. So it's one of those, maybe he just needs to hold his tracks down and just relax, or I don't know. Escobar, I have my mixed feelings about Escobar.
Yep. And that was the first half. Dynamo started losing 1-0 there, and as soon as the second half starts, it was kind of the same game that went over. I feel like momentum didn't like shift dramatically, and and what I was particularly impressed by, like I said before, I was just impressed with the fact that the Dynamo were still trying to build up, and there was plenty of that. Um, and the one that I was particularly impressed with, or just like uh the fact that Bassi had a good game, is that he was key for Houston's goal, and we should get into that now because Bassi was able to steal or just like snatch the ball away from one of the Chicago players making a pass in the back line, and Aliyu was just right there to receive the ball to end up curling the shot to the far post, and that was an insane shot. And that shot, I was, for me, it was very funny because this week in particular, I've seen like so much Aliyu hate, and for no reason, and I'm like, guys, the season's starting. We don't need to do this right now. And Aliyu just does that because he's playing in the right position. He was granted that he was at the right place at the right time, but a goal's a goal, and that goal was pretty big.
Yeah, and that's one of those right there, bro. You get it to that winger, and they either gonna fly by you and get a cross off, or they're gonna cut back and take that shot from that spot is so friggin' dangerous. For me, I saw Kevin De Bruyne with a fucking brilliant blast, and then I get to see Liu do it to follow up the same night. It was just friggin' it was a nice shot, bro, and more of those. So that's what, 3 for the season so far already for Liu. So all the
Yes.
haters and keep talking, but he's got 3. He performs well on the wing. He's doing a good job replacing for Quinones. Yes, he misses some good opportunities sometimes, but man, look who's leading the team in goal scoring right now. Y'all gotta lower your standards some.
And that was also Bassi's first assist of the year, so that's great for him. And yeah, they kept pushing up. Unfortunately, like Chicago also had a couple opportunities here and there, and one of those just being their second goal, like I believe like 16 minutes later, getting towards the 80th minute. And I was particularly not happy about this play because Brian Gutierrez, which is the Chicago player that scored the goal, he found himself open off the break, especially because Shaqiri was like he crossed an insane ball like towards him because he was like on the like on this on the flank, and he just like sends the ball to the middle inside the box or close by, just for Gutierrez to find Steve Clark off his line, and Gutierrez was able to chip the ball in a way to like the chip though was like insane. It was like a high angle chip, and he was able to put the ball in the back of the net. A lot of people say Steve Scott's fault, and I feel like it's just like a defensive a miscue altogether because nobody was marking Gutierrez, and Clark had to do something else because he was just like by himself. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't correct.
Yeah, we're going to revert back to Nick at Glasshouse Soccer again. Shaqiri is going to send you a ball, and they hate how much he does it, but it's a 50-50 ball every time they do it. So there's a 50% chance our defender's going to win it, and there's a 50% chance his forward's going to win it, and sure shit, not this time. The forward is the one to win the ball. And when you go back and watch the replay, and when Shaqiri pulled this out of his this magic trick out of his hat, he was in a deep position, and Eric was not paying attention, and that runner made a run behind him, and it was Bartlow or I don't even remember who it was now, Dorsey or somebody had to run him down. And yes, as you say, Clark came out. Now, I'm disappointed in Clark, and a lot of people are giving Clark the fault because Clark didn't come out big. He came out, and right before he got there, he realized he was going to be second, and he did not put his hands out or up. He just kind of did that little froggy jump where he just jumped up and kept his hands down. And if he just would have, just done the little big.
It could have tipped it, I see, yeah.
Yeah, dude, but he didn't put his hands up at all. So, yeah, and a lot of people blame it on him because they thought that he did not need to make that run to come out, that the defender was close enough and in the field of play to make that defender or that attacker take a poor shot. So that one, I can't defend that one. Clark had to make a decision, and that's the decision he made to come out. His decision to not go big is a decision that I'm going to slack Steve on. He should have went big, and he knows better than doing that. And I know he's being cautious and didn't want to take the guy out at the same time, but hindsight, he scored the goal. So you probably should have, but that's my thought on that one as well. So probably again, I'm not in the popular opinion, but I know I'm right. No, I'm just kidding. By the way,
you're always right, but yeah, I felt like it was a bad goal to concede, especially with that build up. And yeah, just a lot of blame to pass around there. So it's a goal that they're gonna have to learn a lot from, particularly from like just to avoid that specific situation again. And yeah, like we did have like the last 10 minutes of the game after that goal, Houston were trying to get back into it, but I was particularly disappointed with Dorsey because he had like towards the end of the game he had a pretty good couple opportunities to tie the game towards the dying minutes, and I felt like those were not those opportunities were not used properly. And
when that man has that left-footed curling shot that he has, and he tries to do an outside of the right foot shot, when his angle was completely off, that ball went exactly where he told it to go, and he was shooting for the goal. Okay, he should have just touched it forward, take that left foot curling shot. Keeper couldn't have got it because it would have been beautiful. But yeah, so as you mentioned, Dorsey, I want to throw something at you. The league is adjusting to Dorsey into the style that the Dynamo are playing, and they know Dorsey is a threat and a big overlapping and owns that wing over there and is a big offensive threat. So teams are marking and defending better. As you saw, Liu, when he received the ball last night, he couldn't make runs down the wing because he was already marked. Vice versa, same thing with Dorsey on the other side. They were watching and they were marking him. Now, it's a lot easier to do that when you don't have to worry about the middle of the field as much because there's not a dangerous striker there. So once we get a proven dangerous striker back and Sebas can show that he's actually one of those threats in scoring, it's going to open up one of the sides. It'll open up a Liu or it's going to open back up Dorsey because now we'll be able to go back through the middle as much and then work our way down the wings. I think we were trying to force too much on the wings and teams are adjusting to it and they're able to defend us well. And they're you got to pick your poison. And right now they're picking to, so let's stop them on the wings because they can't do nothing in the box. And we'll take our chances and see if we can beat them 2-1. And that's exactly what happens. We always have more possession. We always have more shots. We have more passes. We look like we play the better team, but we make the mistake or we give up the stupid penalty or we give up just more goals because we still can't shoot. And that's a problem. But that's just my thought on Dorsey and how the league is defending him. And that's why he's struggling right now. And he's got to find a way to adjust to it until we can find a way to relieve some pressure on the wings.
And I think you're right. And I think it's easier for them to adjust, especially with our two of our key players missing. Well, three of them actually, and four.
Yeah.
Because like obviously Hector Herrera and Quillones being two of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they're going to have to start plugging the middle a little bit more when Hector comes back as well, too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it makes their life easier, but at the same time, these are the pieces that we have right now, and we have to roll with that. And yeah, game ends to 1. There was an issue like towards the end of the game because Houston earned a corner kick, but the referee killed the game after that. And the team was just watching the replay. The team didn't seem happy about that, and
time
of course
was
the cross as well. Yeah,
time was up. You can't argue it. It's not the first time you've seen it happen. Yes, it's not typical that a referee will stop it on an offensive play, but you know what? Time was up. The ball went out of bounds. It was 15 seconds past. You blow the whistle. I've done it before as a referee. It indicates time is over, and you don't give advantage.
Yep.
You end the game when time is complete. We allow it. It's to the discretion of the referee. So again, I'm not going to complain that the referee blew the whistle on the corner right there. So it's a last opportunity, and Chicago defended it, but whatever. So I'm not complaining about the referee as far as the main ones that we discussed because he he did it right. Can't complain. So,
and just before we move on from this game, just to go back to the stats, like Houston outshot Chicago. I thought it was pretty good, and just to like back up what I said when it comes to like Houston doing pretty well offensively, just based on the piece that they have, like it was a pretty good game, and I felt like just altogether they could have had a result here, but unfortunately they have to go back with stay on the road with a loss because their next game is on Southern Road as well. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. Obviously Houston still controlling most of the possession, and yeah, just trying to get back there because as long as they're fighting, I feel like they always have a good chance to a result. And unfortunately, last night wasn't their night really.
As long as they're fighting, I heard farting, but whichever. As long as they're doing both, I think we can. Yeah, you're right, brother. They're just fighting. They're being competitive. So there's not a lot of complaining, but there is. It's the road, man. There's the road still trying to figure it out. It's just, man. What are we gonna do about it? Got to play better on the road. But we need that striker. We need that striker, and our run of form will be more consistent. I mean, granted, we just came off a 3-game winning streak, so can't complain too much. So it would have been nice because a win would have propelled us into a tie for first place, even though I forget what Vancouver owns that technically with goal differential. And if you want me to, I got the MLS scores from this weekend as well.
Oh yeah, of course. No, yeah, I was because yesterday before the Dynamo game, I was watching a Tráfico, and that game is always wild. And yeah, LAFC took that one.
Yep. That was a wild game, too. So, yeah, real quick, I'll run through them, man. New England beat Charlotte 1-0. Controversial Porter, or that's Porter is the coach's name, right? So, got the win.
Taylor Porter, for New England.
Yeah, that he promised. So, big win for them. Miami with Colorado 2-2. Miami had all four of their stars on the bench to start the game and had to put them in later. Messi came in and obviously he scored right off the bat, but Colorado came back and scored one late to tie it. So 2-2. Good job for Colorado in Miami. Vancouver whooped Toronto 4-0. NYC beat Atlanta. I guess I could go back to the Vancouver one because Fafa scored. Uh, you
What
know,
you don't need, bro.
yeah, I was watching that one live, and it didn't even have nothing to do with his feet. Besides, he used them to jump up because it was a header. It was a cross that he headed into the goal. So, yeah, he defender jumped up in front of him and just missed the ball completely, and Fafa headed it right into the goal. So good for Fafa. NYFC in Atlanta 1-1. I hate watching that game on that field. Can't stand it. Columbus DC 1-1. Cincinnati gave up the game to the Red Bulls 2-1 over there, and Cincinnati scored first too, so they blew that game. That's their first loss too, I
Damn.
think. Yeah. As you said, LAFC beat LA 2-1, which is good because LA was winning the West or pretty high up there with the West. I think they had 10 points, so that's a nice loss. St. Louis and Dallas was in a barn burner, 0-0. Whoop de doo rah rah. Nashville lost to Philly 2-1. Minnesota, our next opponent next weekend, 7:30 at Minnesota. They tied 1-1 to Real Salt Lake. So that's showing you that we know we can beat Real Salt Lake going into Minnesota, and they're pulling off a draw. So there's some game tape right there we could go watch to go see what happened in that game and see if there's any adjustments that we can make to get past Minnesota, because we know they're a strong team. Wild game, Austin and San Jose 4-3. And that game was 1-0 at halftime, San Jose. So San Jose looked like they just really blew it there in the second half, and Austin scored 4 goals. And they needed a late goal winner from Jerussi, too. A late goal, extra time winner. So they got their win. I'm sure they're happy. And I think that's 2 in a row now for them. So, wow, they may feel like they're a good team again. But their bipolar ass will just have to relax a little bit. And then to close off, man, Montreal got their butts kicked to a reeling Seattle, who were like, Seattle's bad, Seattle's bad. Bro, 5-0, Seattle handled Montreal. Just handled Montreal and just freaking kill it. And then today, here in an hour, as we're recording right now, Sporting KC and Portland Timbers are yet to play. And you know what that does for the standings for us? It puts the Red Bulls in first, too, with that win over Cincinnati, as a matter of fact. So the Red Bulls holding up the East. Vancouver holding up the West. We fell to sixth because now we have 10 points and 13 is what's in the lead. And then still with 10 points, Austin with 9 points in the playoff spot again now. So what's going on here, man? But that's the MLS scores for the weekend.
Yeah. Standings wise, there's not much to worry about this early in the season, but
No.
uh, but Houston still has a handful of games in hand, and as long as they get positive results,
Yeah.
we can only worry about results in a few months from now, probably like a 2 or 3. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We're not I mean, like we said before, Houston is in a pretty good spot, especially considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're doing what we can, but we're still 3 points away from first place now. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. We're still in a nice place with the roster
Nice
that we
place
have.
is the best place in the standings is a nice place. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
yeah, but yeah, that was Dynamo. Next game is gonna be on the road against Minnesota United. So a result will be nice there, but Minnesota is looking pretty good this year. So I feel it's gonna be a well contested game, and hopefully we get our players back, especially Sebas and Mikael, because we're gonna need them.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So, like he said, Saturday night, 7:30, Apple TV, of course, only place you can watch it unless you go to a watch party. So keep an eye out. Watch parties will be announced later during the week. Go Dynamo!
Yeah, and now it's that time. Obviously, they had the week off because of the national break in NWSL, but still a
All
lot
right,
of news to talk
all
about.
right. You know you're right. And Dashers say thank y'all for listening to the sticking around for the Dash segment, and some of these new listeners that I'm hearing we're getting on there as we try to bring you more information about the Houston Dash and just give them as much of a platform as we do Dose and as we do the men's team, the Dynamo. So Dashers, man, welcome. You're on the international weekend. So Fox, man, 9 players on international
Yep.
duty, up from the 6 we had last year. And you're like, with this turnover of the roster, you're like, well, we went up, we went up. So we added some international players, man.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah, just
it's
considering that we lost a lot of players from Canada and also Sophie Schmidt retiring, and
yeah,
we still have more players. Like I'm like, what?
it's crazy. So and the Dash have had quite an off season with signing players and bringing in players. And I say off season because they're still doing it to this day. We're playing a season, and they're still bringing in players. So yeah, go back and thinking about it. It's all right, cool. I like bringing in these new players that are still playing international. Now, what does that mean when international duty comes? If you still got a game, we're going to be very limited. But NWSL took the whole weekend off and allowed these players to go play for international duty. And like I said, we have 9 of them, man. So I'd like to go through them since they're new. Some of us may not know about them. Some of us obviously know about them. And we'll just kind of mention what they did this weekend. Of course, we'll start with Jane Campbell. She's still getting the call up to USA. She's still on the bench. She's not getting to see the field. So, but USA beat Japan 2-1 in the She Believes, and they got the final coming up. I think it's tomorrow, possibly, or maybe even I don't even know when it is. But she's on the bench
I
for
think it's
USA.
next week. Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
next week, and I know that it's gonna be a job to beat Alisa Nair. I think that's the starting keeper for
Oh
them.
yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for her to be her to starting spot. But I'm just glad that the national team is keeping an eye on her for sure.
Well, that's good. Keep an eye on her. Obviously these are games you're going to go with your best keeper. So hopefully there's some games before the Olympics or whatever's coming up that maybe Campbell can get into and maybe play in the Olympic. I don't know if she can. I don't know the rules and what team is going to play for the Olympics. But as we move, Mexico was also playing. Maria and Ordonez are both playing. Maria with the start. Ordonez did not get the start. So that one was a little different for most fans following those two ladies. Mexico lost 1-0 to Colombia. They got their butts kicked by Colombia, as a matter of fact. Mexico couldn't do nothing, and then it showed. They still have another game on Tuesday. So we'll see how the girls do on that before they return back to the Dash team. But yeah, Mexico got their butts kicked.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this week, but NWSL posted a graphic of like all the players that got an international call up
Yeah,
and scored a goal already this season. And the first graphic they posted, they actually missed Mexico because Diana Ordonez already got a couple goals, and for some reason Mexico wasn't listed. And
damn.
NWSL got flagged for that, and they actually fixed the graphic, and they
Whew.
got the right number and Mexico listed. So that was
Good.
pretty funny. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, the respect to Diana.
Give them all credit, please, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And this one was hard to find actual good stats on it. So I don't know if Deanna. I think Deanna came into play, but I couldn't find out the amount of time she came into play that the rest of that game. But obviously she wasn't a factor as just Columbia dominated that entire game. So like I said, I think they got another game coming up on Tuesday. So we'll look forward to that one. Moving on, you have Peru, Savannah Madden. Savannah Madden, who's been getting the start for Peru in the goal. Again, this one it was so hard to find any information on it. So I really can't confirm that she got another start. All I know is they got their butts kicked 5-0 to Costa Rica, and they play Costa Rica again on Tuesday. It looks like these are just friendlies, I believe. So
Yep.
Savannah Madden just got her butt kicked. I don't know if you have any information on her for that game.
No. Yeah, I couldn't see those games unfortunately.
Yeah, I couldn't find any really information. It's hard to find on that one, and it's just
Yeah.
and you're using Google. But here's another one that I couldn't even find the friggin' the. I saw that she started, but I couldn't find where she played because I was trying to find the highlights of the game too, or an actual lineup broken down. All I saw was the 11 listed. But Michelle Alozia, I'm gonna agree, just Alozia until she tells me otherwise. Nigeria, and they won 1-0 and ended up getting a penalty kick in the 37th minute to win that game. But like I said, I couldn't confirm if Alozia is still playing that right back or if she's playing up forward. in a forward position for them. I'd be curious because that's something that could be used in debate for the dash. Moving on, Venezuela, your girl, Bob
Yes, ma'am.
Oliver,
Yeah.
with a pretty corner kick. I'm sure everybody's seen that highlight already. If you haven't, the Dash reposted it, we reposted it. So it was a pretty corner kick for the assist, man. So I know you probably might even watch this game by chance.
I was able to watch the highlights, and the one thing I was gonna say is that we're not ready, man. We're not ready for we're not ready for her, and people are not gonna are not gonna be aware of that. So well, but it's gonna be great. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
I like what she's doing out there, and she's her stock is moving up pretty fast. So that this is a good thing. So like you said, people aren't ready, so y'all get ready. The name's out there.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Now we're up to Austria and Sarah Puttengam, and they lost 2-3 in a back and forth game. I forget who their opponent was, but she played as a CDM and for her national team. So and played on the right side as well. So she didn't play it across away from her left back position that she plays for her club team. But like I said, they got beat 2-3. I don't know how involved she was in that game, but she gave up 3 goals as a CDM. So I don't know. That was but that's how Austria did. Sweden had Rubenson. Rubenson did not get a start. This one I didn't. They didn't give the full stats for some reason out of this game, so I didn't see if Rubenson even came in off the bench. I'm pretty sure she did, but I don't know to tell you the truth. But Sweden, shoot, now you don't remember if they won their game or not. So whatever. She didn't play. Moving on to
You're good.
Switzerland. Our new signing, finally, Bachmann, Ramona Bachmann, our new signing from PSG, Switzerland, Swiss International. They played a game as well, and she started in the cam position. And from the highlights that I was able to watch, looked very nice, very attacking style. Put one girl on her butt at one point. That was the biggest highlight that you probably saw when the Dash reposted that one. But Ramona Bachmann with the Swiss, and that was our most recent signing for the Dynamo, or for the Dash. Sorry. So they signed her. She was already overseas, so she stayed for her duty, and then she'll return to the team for the first time, and she'll get acclimated pretty quick because I think she just fits what Fran is doing with the team. So we'll see how long it takes before she's implemented right into the roster and gets going. But Ramona Bachmann, I'm excited for this one. Fox, how about you?
Yeah. No, yeah, and we can definitely get to talk about her now. Her signing was announced this week. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. That's actually Wednesday, yeah. So it was announced on Wednesday, and it was out of nowhere. It wasn't really like leaked by anyone that I follow, and yeah, everyone was mostly surprised because it's a position that the Dash don't really need at the moment, but it's probably something that they can work towards. And just from the full release, Ramona was actually like signed from PSG for an undisclosed fee, and like up until the 2026 season. So she's gonna be here for a while, and I, I'm I'm excited for the potential. Obviously, this is another veteran coming to the roster, and just trying to get well. We like before the season started, we already joked about us scoring the most goals out of every team because of the amount of forwards that we have, and now we're more likely to do that, especially with like how with the way we started the season and not scoring that many goals or as expected really. So it's great that we have her, and
Exactly.
I'm also fascinated with how she's gonna be plugged into the lineup for sure because we have a lot of forwards now.
A lot of attacking pieces. You're right, and like we said, she played Cam for Switzerland. I think what she's going to come in here to do is play forward, or or play. Yeah, she's going to probably play forward, maybe play the right wing in the 3-5-2, or are we going to move to a 3-4-3? What is Fran going to do now with this additional piece? It's still going to be three back in the back, no matter what. So she's going to fit in right. And people are like, that's a piece we don't need. Correct, we do need defensive pieces because we do need some depth right there at the defense. But she did upgrade at a. I believe it is an upgrade at the position that she's going to play, or I think she's going to play. So it's an upgrade as well. So like Fox said, you expect more goals. So if you expected so many goals this season, now adding her, you're definitely going to raise that goal total up. So you're going to expect more goals coming out of the dash this season, and it's probably going to be the opposite of what it was last year. We're going to probably give up the most goals and score the most goals, and we'll see what our record is at the end of the day. It's going to be tough.
Yep.
What this also raises, man. So let's break down into the tactics of the game and what is Fran going to do and some of the options. It'll be curious to see what he does as Washington rolls in on Friday. Bachmann, not obviously, but Bachmann will most likely will not start for us and not be a part. So we'll have to wait further into the future to see where she's going to be inserted at and play. She might play some minutes though, to tell you the truth, because she's fit. And like I said, she's going to fit right in. But tactically, man, add in this another attacking piece, another forward piece. And we've talked about Michelle Alozia playing up there, playing that position. And she can bring some pace and she can bring some goals. But now with all these extra attacking pieces and the necessity of defending and the necessity of defenders, is it something where Alozia can drop back and play the role of Peterson that plays in that right back position, or do we bring her off the bench? Do we rotate her? It's going to be something that Fran has now got some, like you said, a lot of options attacking, but she's a piece that could help defensively as well and still be able to attack and take some of them brilliant golazos from out in distance. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I feel it's gonna have to be that way because I don't think anyone else can have that same role. Well, not not a lot of players on the current roster can have like the same role Alosi can play, especially
Right.
as she can also play behind. And I feel like that's like the only way she can get like consistent minutes or like or start really. And because she can definitely play forward, I'm not saying like she cannot, but I'm just saying that this is like the position just based on the current situation that we have of like all these attacking players. I feel like Alosi playing in the back. I feel like it's more reasonable just based
Yeah.
on the current tactics. And because I don't think Fran Alonso is gonna be changing those anytime soon unless he really wants to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does, but I think that's a viable option he should use. And Peterson's been doing a good job. She's been playing better game to game, so not to knock her at the same time, because she'll be the one that would be swapping out with Alozia. So take turns, rotate and whatever. I think it's something that would be helpful and beneficial to the team. Now let's move on to center back because with Katie Lynn missing the entire season now, what do you do? Is Sophie Schmidt going to be that girl when Jacobs return, which hopefully should be this week? We're yet to see, and we'll have to wait till probably Thursday to find out what she's listed as. But Jacob, let's just say Jacobs returns and starts at center back. Is Sophie Schmidt holding that position down with her? Is she going back into the center midfield? I would love for her to go back to her CDM spot, and Jacobs will have to learn to control the center of the three CBs by herself and become the captain of the team. She's been getting better and improving, but that's a big question. I know you got an answer. I can see it
Hundred
rumbling up
percent.
there.
No, 100% because the biggest worry of this team is just the back line, and obviously that just goes for the players that are currently missing, because of maternity leave or other issues, and yeah, like it's a big one, but I really want Sophie Schmidt. I just being back as a CDM. I understand that we're missing players, but I didn't really like the way she played in a defensive role like that. Obviously, she can defend very well, but as a CDM, she does it better.
I'm ready for the 3-5-2, man. The 3-5-2 is what I'm ready for with the double pivot with Rubenson and Schmidt, and Rubenson being the one that'll go play a higher role than Schmidt, and then you have uh, Barb Oliveri and Andressa taking turns playing the cam. You have uh, Bachmann and Ordonez up top playing the striker roles. You have Maria Sanchez on the left. You could have Bachmann playing that right wing position as well. Like uh, Alozia playing the right wing position. I feel like I'm missing a name. We've also got the rookies out there getting shots, Kiki Van Zant and Patterson and shoot West last
Yeah,
week. So I'm really liking our players and our depth. And Dashers, just be patient. I feel like it's, looking into it deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm feeling better about this roster. We just got to give Fran the time to put it together and the way it's going to work. And we're going to have to be patient. And then there's going to be some games where it's going to be frustrating. You're down 2-0 and you come back and tie 3-3 or something like that. So, yes, hey, more excitement. Bring more fans to the game. Shoot, I don't know what to do here, but he's definitely building a roster that's going to be run and gun. And as Houston likes to shoot, or likes to say, run and shoot is a thing in that town. So bring it back. We'll just bring it back on the soccer field with the women instead of throwing a pigskin in the air in the old school days with the Oilers and Cougars. But let's get that run and shoot going with the Dash. So I mean, they are the Dash. Dash don't walk. They what are they? What is
dash.
that dash, right? Well, I'm thinking of a
They
reindeer. So,
dash.
yeah, so, they're not slow. So
Dasher,
it'll be
yeah.
yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what Fran does with this roster, and we'll have to give him a couple weeks to as he puts it together into his game plan. So, uh, very curious. 3-5-2, 3-4-3. What are you thinking?
I hope he leans towards a 3-4-3 at some point, just based on on the need of trying to put more force up top, and and really just the amount of stress that we have when it comes to the build up, and given a 3-5-2 is not necessarily that bad either. Like if like we have like a camo over there, especially with like the role a Bogman can have, I feel like it can succeed still. So either of those is fine. Um, I know, yeah, the big game coming up actually
Whoa, where are you
is
going,
this one
brother?
on.
Where are you going? Are we? You're jumping ahead again, man. So
No,
so
man,
go.
I'm excited for Friday
Yeah, I know
because
you're
I got the day
excited for
off.
Friday, but
I got the day off for Friday.
you're jumping ahead. I do too as well. So you'll see
Yeah.
us both. I mean, both in Houston. So you're saying you want the three forwards over the two forwards and the five midfielders because I'm pushing more for the 3-5-2 because the lack of defensive support at the same time. So, can we score from a 3-5-2? I don't feel like I feel like we can, and I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about that defense in that race of giving up the goals and all that good stuff. And so, you're more the three. So we're just going to race, and it's going to be 4-4, 5-4 games because this is the NWSL, and they do get some crazy games like that.
Yep. Always.
Always. So yeah, that will be very interesting, man. That's nuts, bro. That's just nuts. How that's gonna. Whew. Well, Dashers, are y'all excited? Are y'all ready for it? This I want
We're
y'all
not
to.
ready. We're never
We're
ready.
not ready. Okay, so actually, Dashers, I want
I mean,
y'all to comment on it.
we're never ready to what we're expecting, because at the end of the day, it can just be like something way like so different. And I feel like with Farnell also, I feel like there's a lot of work to do, but at the same time, I feel like we're in the right direction this early.
Well, good. Then there's a nice opinion right there. And if any of you Dashers would like to, we'd like to hear your comments. So when you see this episode come out, comment below the episode and tell us your thoughts on what you think's getting ready to go on with the Dash and where your feelings are. And we'll discuss it back with you as he'll see the comments, I'll see the comments. But as Fox was trying to do earlier, yes, we do have a big game on Friday in Houston at Shell Energy Stadium. 7 o'clock on Friday night, Washington Spirit are coming into town. Foxman, tell us about this game coming up. We'll give you a short preview before we close out tonight and see y'all on Friday. But Washington Spirit are coming to town.
It's a big game on both sides of the ball, or both sides of the field, really. Like in the game, because it's a big one. Washington is ahead of us in the standings, so we also have to like get back into the group of things, especially not to carry let all the teams uh just get in front of us with all these results because we need a win right now. And also off the field, it's a big one because the Dash are actually celebrating the 10th anniversary in this game, and it's a big one. They actually just celebrated this week, the first game they ever played, and one of the things that I saw on Twitter recently was Keeper Notes just having just posting consistently about that, which is very nice, and it's a big game for those reasons. So, guys, you better be there. The team needs you, and we gotta celebrate the Dash's 10th anniversary.
So, like you said, they're ahead of us in the standings. They're in fourth. We're sitting in fifth. We have 4 points. We're 1-1-1. They have 2 wins and a loss, and they have 6 points with a 4 and 3 goals against, and we're 4 goals, 4 and 7 goals against, especially with that 5-1 start to the season. So this could be a very curious game. But let's remind people, man, Washington has a very scary Trinity Rodman who's going to be flying down. Yep. That right flank, which is going to be, what is that? That's Sarah Puntingen's side. So
she's gonna have to step it up, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be tested with that pace. And then they brought this girl off the bench last time, and I think she's somebody who's going to come in and start because she just recently showed up to the team, and it's Onum Anu. I can't. Please don't butcher her name, but she's somebody who just came from, I don't even remember where she came from, but she's a special player. She's here we go. Came from Gotham, and that's the Utah Royals, bro. What a team am I looking at? I'm lost here. Golly. I had the wrong teams. That's why her name didn't look familiar to me.
Gotcha.
So what she's Ali. Oh man, still gonna butcher it. Ali Matasar. No, Ali Matasar. She's a new player that they just.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a new player they just brought in from Paris FC. She was with Washington last year, it looks like. But man, just from seeing her, she looks just like dangerous, and they're gonna bring speed and pace up top, and you're gonna trend into bringing pace.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bringing pace along that side. So this will be one of those games where we're going to find out how many goals can be scored in a 90-minute NWSL game and see if we can set the record for that. So as Fox said, we had good attendance last game. We want to expect good attendance this game. We're celebrating 10th anniversaries, the first signing in history, the first game in history, going through everything, the highlights until this game on Friday in Houston. It's the only game this weekend in Houston for soccer. The boys are Saturday are in Minnesota. Dose is in SKC on Sunday. So, y'all, I want to see y'all on Friday. Fox wants to see y'all on Friday. You know where to get your tickets. Call your rep. Please go. We want to see you there. Enjoy it. Otherwise, the big thing, well, don't worry. We'll post it on Twitter. Noodle Tempio on Twitter and Instagram, Dynamic Foxtrot. We'll tell you where that game is on TV if you cannot make it down to the stadium, because that changes every week. So we'll keep you in tune. We'll keep you in line, and we'll let you know what's going up. And please comment below whenever you see the episode. But Fox, man, any final comments on Dash? I'm done with it. You can take us out, and we can move on to the next one.
Yep. This game is actually gonna be the first game for the Dash that's gonna be shown on Amazon Prime Video.
Right,
so you're gonna need a subscription for that. So just as a heads up, because it's not available. But like OSG said, like every single week we're gonna make sure that we disclose where the game's gonna be, because we have like 4 or 5 streaming services for the Dash, which sucks, but it is what it is. We have to go with what we have. And yeah, get your Amazon Prime Video subscription if you haven't already. That's the only way to watch the video. Or if not, you better be at the stadium watching the Dash. So
yeah, no replay probably.
Get your ticket. Get your ticket now. Go to the game and celebrate the 10th anniversary. Go get
it. Yeah. But Dashers, thank you. That's the Dash segment, man. I pass it back on to Foxtrot here to do as you wish with the rest of this episode, brother. So yeah, thanks for the Dash.
Yeah, man, and yeah, we're just gonna close it out because it's already a big one, even though the 3 teams didn't play. That's awesome. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in this long and for all the episodes and sharing our stuff. And as always, stay noodle, y'all.
H is up.